Generals, gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hello.
welcome to something very exciting. This is a brand new window of opportunities. A door has been opened, metaphorically speaking, because we are about to do our first video for Command & Conquer, in brackets, Generals 2. But it's not really Generals 2, but it kind of is Generals 2. We call it Generals 2, but it's not supposed to be called Generals 2. It is technically Command & Conquer, but it's basically Generals 2. So yes, we're going to do our first game of Generals 2. I've been in the alpha, it's kind of Blake as well, not so much though, but we've been in the alpha since day freaking one, like literally the day it started. I've been like balling out I think I have like 500 posts.
At least on the forums.
In the forums, like
I've just been balling out of control, posting everything he thinks about this game. So we're working hard.
Because for me, Generals 2 is something that is such an opportunity, not only like for the game, but also as us as casters. So we're like, I'm really attached. I really want this game to be good. So I've been, I've been going pretty well. So the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, has finally been lifted. So we can start posting videos, as a lot of people have been doing. We're kind of late to the party, I guess, in that sense. So we're going to finally do a video for Generals 2. Yeah,
it's going to be pretty exciting. We're definitely pumped for Generals 2. It should be awesome for this Command & Conquer Online, which is definitely a step forward in the Command & Conquer series. And we think it can be a pretty awesome game. So.
It's an opportunity because CNC is basically a dead games, all of them. Like, face it, the game isn't active. The games are pretty much dead. I mean, they're still going, but when you compare it to things like other RTS games, like, of course, StarCraft, things like League of Legends, like all these big games are just kind of taking over. And Generals 2 has opportunity to really take off and be big because it's new, it's really accessible because it's free to play, so we hope it's going to be good. It's basically what we're going to do, because there's no real support or anything, which, is alpha, that's not a big deal. I'm just going to go play a game, and we're going to kind of talk about what we think, our initial opinions, kind of show you the game. There's a lot of issues with it, there's a lot of issues, but, it's alpha. Things are to be fixed, things are expected to be issues, so we're not going to really kind of complain about, oh, I hate that, that sucks, that sucks, that sucks. I'm kind of going to be talking about what I like, and if I can be constructive in terms of what I don't like, but not just kind of bash everything that sucks because it's alpha, So basically, before we start, I want to say, like, when the alpha first started, it had, like, a shit ton of issues. Like, it was, like, basically just a StarCraft 2 clone. And since then, they've been actually fixing it pretty well. There's still a lot of issues, obviously, but it's going a pretty good direction. So I think, try and be, patient. Don't look at it and go, oh, it's crap. Well, yeah, it is an alpha. Of course it's crap. It's going to be released, or, like, released in probably, like, a year's time, if not more. So it should get a lot better. But still, it can be pretty fun. It can also be incredibly frustrating depending on how the games go. So we're going to have a bit of a look. We're going to see how it all goes. We're just going to play a game. So
here we go. Let's get started.
Let's record this. So main menu, blah, blah, blah. I won't go on about that because it's boring. No one cares. I'm going to play a game. So, oh, no, PvP. No, I want 1v1. No, cancel.
Cancel.
1v1. All right, so I'm playing.
Here we go.
There's a lot of generals. There's like heaps of them. There's like a lot. I don't really like that. As of yet, they don't really have a lot of distinguishers about them. So we're both playing EU. EU is basically USA. And this is basically the vanilla general. He doesn't really have a lot of specific things about him, but he does have pretty much everything that EU has to offer. So he's basically a vanilla faction. He's not really called that, but still. So that was actually incredibly quick. I'm surprised how quick that got a game. So we'll kind of talk about it a little bit. It won't really be casting because I'm playing and I'm showing about. So okay, so that's my supply. So as you may notice, you don't start with the command center, you start with the supply. The command center is a little bit different in this. It does a little bit different things. Nothing's quite finalized, so bear that in mind. First thing you may notice, doesn't look very good. Well, yes, it doesn't. It's alpha. It should get better. If not, that would be very, very sad. So basically, you can build you can build dozers from your like supply as well as your command center. So that's kind of interesting in that sense.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty cool game. As you can see, we can actually see what the other guy is building for the moment, because that's another thing with your command center. Your command center actually stops the reveal, so you can't actually see what people are building.
Yeah,
but it does add a little niche thing, a new niche thing.
Basically, you can see building through the fog of war without a command center. Once I build a command center, it will get rid of that. And I think the reason why they're doing that, I'm pretty sure it is not permanent, if it has only been in for recently. That's basically because currently in the game, there is no proper scout or anti-scout mechanisms. Like CNC3, you would sell your watchtowers, you'd get the infantry. Generals, you have like spy drones, you had like really fast workers and stuff. Currently, there wasn't really anything in the game, so it was really cheesy. It was like, oh, he rushed me, I didn't scout it, GG. And like you couldn't really scout it properly, so it was a bit kind of cheesy. And this is kind of like a temporary placeholder until they kind of properly integrate some kind of anti-scout mechanism. So basically, it adds a bit of depth though, kind of it's like, well, that's a fast Alderac. Yeah, that's fast Alderac. I'm gonna have to harass that. So basically, it's pretty interesting in the sense that you can kind of, if you're gonna rush, you can rush really hard, but they'll know it's coming, or you can rush with like a command center, but it'll delay it a little bit, but you won't know it's coming at least. So one thing I really like so far about the game is the Alderacs. Like, the Alderacs are done in a way that makes them a lot better than the current implementation of not only Generals, like 1, but also like CNC3 Red Alert 3, the Tiberium spikes. Basically, you build an Alderac on top of an old node, and once it gets destroyed, you just rebuild it. It's not a thing that once destroyed, it's gone forever. Which kind of makes them a very temporary thing. Yeah,
which is cool, I think, because it opens up new harassment objectives instead of just going after supplies and things like that, or dealing with like an oil once and then it's gone. You now have the fact that you can rebuild them straight away, kind of thing. So there's a little bit of a back and forth there. So you build up an Alderac, it could get destroyed. There's a lot of harassment and fighting over Alderacs, so definitely.
Which I'm gonna do right now.
Yeah, it makes a bit of an interesting playstyle. So yeah, Orange Machine is gonna go for that Alderac and he's gonna harass it because he doesn't want to keep it farming up. But I mean, he can just rebuild that, assuming the units get destroyed. He's actually gone for a double there, I think.
Yeah, basically, he is. Wow. So I've got my first APC. I'm gonna fill that with 2 RPGs. So. They can't fire out of the APC until I get an upgrade later on in the game. At the moment, though, that's not a big deal. I just want to harass them with my rocket troops. So I'm going to get that pretty fast. It's a little bit slower in the early game because it's a bit more economy focused, at least compared to Generals, which is very, very not economy focused. So these are my first RPG with my first APC with 2 rocket troops to try to clear that out. So that's going to be quite nice. I'm building my command center now, so he can't see what I'm doing once that finishes, so I'll just start kind of pumping out more rocket troops, more APCs. I'm going to definitely try and deny these Alderacs, because they're going to give him a lot of money. If I leave them up and running, he'll just get a lot of income, and that's of course not good. So mine's done, so you can't see what I'm doing for Fog of War, but I can still see him because he has no command center.
Yep, so he's going to move in now. Bit of free, get a bit of free orders. So we do have to see the evac go down there, as of course.
Evac them, of course.
There's no fire out ability yet. We're not getting the evac yet. There we go. Evac is out, and they're really easy to harass down as well, because they're not really strong the Alderacs.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Alderacs are incredibly weak, but they're really cheap and they're pretty fast to build. Whereas then supplies are actually quite strong, but they're expensive. They take ages to build, and you can harass all the workers individually. So I'm getting my tech lab now, so I can start building some tanks, because like Red Alert 3, I can't build tanks until I get my tech lab sort of thing. So that's one thing that I'm not sure, I don't really like that very much, but still, it's not really a big deal. So I'm going to get a second factory as well, so I can churn out twice as many tanks at a single time. Looks like here's something there, that's an APC. I have more rocket troops though. I don't think he hasn't garrisoned either. Why isn't it evacing?
I don't know,
it's interesting. It's interesting.
There.
He has the garrison as well, so let's see if I can take that garrison. So APC focus rocket troops. It's still not evacing. Why isn't he? Oh, he's evac now. Here we go. I might even lose that. That's right. So I can start building some Aegis tanks now. Aegis tanks are very powerful in this game. Tanks are pretty good against infantry. Something that they're a little bit too strong, I think. They need to kind of get that toned down a little bit. So I've got 2 factories at a time now. So there's a little bit more Whoa, he's building stuff. Yeah,
there's a little bit more unit building and stuff like that than you would normally see in, say, I mean, in Generals 1, if you want to take an example, there's not really, it's a bit less. You are seeing more units being churned out. I mean, I guess maybe a little bit more Red Alert 3-esque. I mean, there's definitely a bit more unit building than.
I think it's more like before. Tiberium Wars than anything else. It is quite spammy.
Yeah, spammy. Yeah. I was trying to remember what it was called. Tiberium Wars. Yeah.
That's like CNC3. Yeah. Kane's Wrath is definitely less spammy than Tiberium Wars. Where's my game crashed? Oh no, it's just lagged.
It's lagged out.
So Aegis tanks, garrisons. Garrisons aren't very good. Yeah. So I'll see if I still hasn't put a command center yet, so I'm just going to keep churning out more and more Aegis tanks, because to be honest, that's all I really need. There's one issue. The hard counter system isn't exactly been implemented yet. Tanks are good as everything. Something in the work, and they need to make units more specialized and kind of kill only their things. So I mean, like, oops, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah. So Aegis tanks are not exactly good against RPGs, but they're still, they can deal with RPGs. Not cost effectively, but if you spam them, you can just kind of muscle your way through any number of RPGs. I think get some more oils as well. That's what I have down here. Maybe this 3rd supply as well. What I like about this is there's a lot of different expansions you can do. Like with 0 Hour, there's only like 1 or 2 expansions for each player. Whereas here I have so many different supplies, so many different Alderacs. I think it's quite interesting given how kind of big the maps are. That it opens up a lot of different expansion opportunities. It's pretty dull now because he doesn't have a command center, so I can see what he's doing. But normally you have to be like constantly scouting, constantly searching for those expansions and see, oh, where's the oil? I gotta kill the oils. I don't want him running. So there's a lot of kind of like map awareness, map vision required. Where in 0 hour, like it's usually pretty predictable, like where he's going to be, sort of thing. So I think one thing that really excites me is the oil supply harassment interaction is actually pretty fun.
Oh yeah, it is quite great. It's a good feel when you're just moving. There's a lot of unit moving around the map. There's a lot of you know, pushing back and forth. Just is my army bigger than his? Kind of like things like that. So it's like you're pushing her all around the map and you're doing a lot more stuff than just kind of just blind pushing army against army kind of stuff. It's more a little more. It feels a little
like
bit
playing
better
China tank mirrors.
Yeah.
But one thing that doesn't excite me is literally building nothing but Aegis tanks.
Yeah.
That's literally all I'm doing.
But again, yeah, early alpha, we're still working on, you know, unit counters, new units and things like that. So obviously everything you have to accept would be broken for the moment.
The counter system is something that's definitely being worked on at the moment. So you see RPGs, they're still going to counter my tanks, but not very effective. Well, not like, yeah, so like that. They go own pretty hard. But like this many tanks can just muscle their way through. Because there's currently no crushing in the game. Something they're working on is there's no crushing. So as a result, they kind of made tanks stronger than what they should be. So I should be able to just kind of take care of it. I need a support power that gives my tanks more health or something. So I should just be able to kind of muscle my way through this, despite having nothing but Aegis tanks. He doesn't really have a lot. I mean, granted, Aegis tanks aren't exactly cheap, 990, and RPGs are like 300. So, I mean, I have a ridiculously huge army because I have 2 oils, 2 expansions, my 3rd supply now. So, I mean, this guy isn't very good, to be honest. He played this pretty crap. He went for those oils, like, without the CC. So I knew he was going for them. If he got the command center first, I didn't know that. I would have had to scout for it myself. I would have had to look for it. So I've also got my longbows, which are anti-air units there. I've got recon, like riflemen. I've got rocket squads. I've got helicopters now. They're kind of like Comanches, sort of, a little bit different though. Yeah. There isn't really a lot of kind of like late game. Like I know some of the USA generals, like Laser General, gets like these really powerful late game tanks that I currently don't. But I think there's going to be game here. A bit of a bad game to showcase because this guy just simply sucked. That's basically like a spy drone thing. I'm just going to be able to own him. I'm just going to own him here. Sure, one thing that I don't like about a lot of these maps is they're very StarCraft 2-esque in terms of the ramps. Whoa, what's that? Oh, they Ragunt. It might actually... Oh, I should be fine. I should use my ability. There's like this huge choke point here. Like the new maps, some of the ones that they've reworked, they've kind of opened up. They've got like a second ramp here, for example. But some of the maps still are kind of suffering from their StarCraft. I'm floating, I'm floating really hard.
Yeah.
I could get some
more macro, buddy. More macro.
I'm gonna get some more air units. I can also you can actually drop like if you get these Chinooks, you can actually drop them. There is an upgrade required though, so I'm gonna upgrade that so I can start dropping him. Require Tech Lab. Oh, I can't afford it. So I'm fine. I've got the economy. I'm just gonna steamroll him. He's got no expansions. So that's the issue. Is like I should be able to kill him, but I can't because he's camping in his ramp. I can't push up here, kill his base. I just have to kind of muscle through his ramp, which I definitely dislike. It is a very StarCraft 2 thing, which is fine because in StarCraft 2 you've got transports that are really good. You've got like jetpacking units. You've got like you can wall off and sort of thing. It's part of the balance. Whereas in here, there's no reason. In Command and Conquer, there is no reason to have ramps. It's just silly. It just doesn't fit. But that's okay because they'll definitely work on that. They've acknowledged. They'll say yes, we're opening up the maps. Either, so they kind of got owned by his air units.
Yeah, dev's definitely in the they know things that's wrong with the game. They know what's going on with the game, so they will be fixing stuff up. They'll be changing stuff. They are putting a heap of effort into the game. So hopefully, yeah, we'll be seeing some changes soon. And yeah, just should be good. I think.
And before anyone starts crying, yes, there are fixed wing aircraft coming into the game, like Raptors and MiG. They just haven't been implemented yet because they're running a new engine. It's kind of hard for them, Victory, to put in like jets, but they're definitely coming in. Yeah. So that was basically a first look. Wasn't exactly exciting. It was a pretty one-sided game. I've played some pretty intense games where there's like constantly, not only is there fighting over your oils, but you're also trying to rebuild your own oils. But most players in the alpha are really bad. Like most people here just have no idea how to play. And I'm not exactly good either. I was just kind of spamming Aegis tanks. So that was basically Generals 2 in a very, very early, buggy, unpolished build. There's a lot of units missing. But like it's come a long way since it started back in alpha. Yeah. It used to be so bad.
Yeah, take our word
Like,
for it.
This game, like, holy shit. Like, this game used to be absolutely terrible. Like, you have no idea how bad this game used to be. Like, and I've just, like, flamed the devs, and I was just like, this game, not really. But, it's come a long way. You should be excited, because hopefully it won't suck when it comes out. AGM launcher from Game Replays is definitely a big part of the design team now, so he's working on a lot of the units. So, what else is there to say, really?
Not a lot, but yeah, definitely. The game has come a long way. We want to stress that from now. Even if you might not like the way it looks now, there is still work on it. There's definitely more movement into it. So hopefully, I mean, more people will get in the alpha and it'll go. The game will keep moving along. So yeah, it's got a lot of potential to be an absolutely fantastic game. I think I played recently, and you know, it feels pretty good. It's starting to feel okay. So I mean, it's starting to feel a lot better than it did before.
So this was a pretty positive video. Like if we wanted to, we could make another video and then just like kind of flame everything we don't like. We're like, why do we start with the supply? Why do it to terrorists? Why do technicals not garrison? There's a lot of things that we don't like, but I think it would be unfair and just silly just to kind of dislike everything rather than making a pretty positive video. But still, I'm not saying, oh, this game's the best, this is the great. It's really not. There's a lot of issues with it, and currently, like, Generals, CNC, the Red Alert 3 are so much better than this game. This game is quite shallow. It's pretty spammy. There's like a lot of micro in it. It's kind of who has more tanks than that guy's tanks. But that's kind of a first look in the very early, well, not really early, but kind of closed alpha at least, even before beta. So kind of bear in mind, it's a long way away from being a finished product. And even when we say finished product, it is as they keep saying, a live service product that they will keep kind of iterating upon, fixing it, adding in new content. So, well, when I say fixed product, final, I mean like by release. But yeah, I think that's a bit of a first look impression.
Yeah, I think so. We've been the Generals, gentlemen.
Bye-bye. Generals, gentlemen, casting, well, looking at Generals 2. So we want to do a lot of content for this once it kind of gets good. Not quite yet, because it's still kind of crappy. But yeah. And so for those of you who might be like, oh no, don't abandon Zero Hour. No, we're not abandoning Zero Hour. We have literally just casted 2 games of Zero Hour before doing this video. So definitely we don't plan on abandoning Zero Hour anytime soon. So yes, that'll sum this one up.
Fantastic. Thanks for tuning in.